I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today, I have my special guest. He's the author of several books, no other than Mr. Morton Leader. Hello,
How you doing?
Mr. Morton. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, doing fine.
That's
So thanks for having me on. First one of these I've ever done.
yes. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year to you too.
You're my first guest this year, so thank you so much for your time.
That's all right. You're welcome. Yeah.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Morton Leader, and my pen name is. It's an amalgamation of my real name and my editor's name put together, a bit like Brangelina and others of that ilk. So, yeah, I've written 6 books since 2019. That are all available on Kindle. Some of them on paperback as well, not all of them. And History is a Lie was my first book I wanted to write, but I didn't feel like I had the skills to do so. So I wrote 2 others before that. So I managed to sort of semi-retire in 2018, and I was traveling around the world, and that's when I began writing, sort of like full on, if you want, for want of a better word. So History is a Lie is a fantasy story using real events from the past that are probably unexplained. Things like the Mary Celeste and Rasputin, um, the Battle of Quebec over in Canada there for you guys. So and the inspiration was, I read a book called All the Countries We've Invaded and a Few We Haven't, which is about the English Empire and English history. And I read in that, I mean, I think we've invaded 167 countries out of 200, well, 300 odd. So we're up there. And reading that, it sort of just got me thinking: how did such a small little island that had a population of 9 million people at the peak of the empire, be so influential on the world? So I've got a love of history. I've got a love of of folklore, myths, and that. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was younger and things like that. So I sort of amalgamated all these things into a story, which sort of puts my spin on the how it all happened, starting from ancient Persia all the way up to COVID is where it ends, going across, as I said, everything from Agincourt to the Templars, the Roman Empire, and one chapter is set in our time now, and the other chapter is set like as it is telling a story. So it's History is a Lie, or also known as, or is his story a lie? A bit of a play on words.
Sounds interesting. According to your readers, they
Yeah.
said your book is brilliant. What can you say about that?
Well, it's quite humbling, isn't it? Like I said, it's someone compared it to Interview with a Vampire. There's a little bit of that really, as it's sort of telling a story through time and things go on. But yeah, some people are very pleased with how I've explained things like the Mary Celeste, in particular, and the Wall Street crashes in there. Obviously, every good book's got the Nazis in there, so they're in there. There's nuns. There's there's everything going on, and don't get me wrong. I left school at 16 and went straight to work, and I didn't start writing until I was like 49. So I think my style is I sort of write how I speak, and I don't try and be too clever. So it's all fast moving and nothing too over the top word wise. So a lot of feedback I get on a lot of my books are that, although they've sort of got clever twists and things like that, they are easy to read, and I'm quite proud of that.
Yes. And they said amazing. What the difference of amazing and brilliant?
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's quite out there, and one of the things I do like about it as well, because basically it's these magical beings that feast on humans. That's where the vampire myth comes from, and but their power does run out. That's why they have to re-drink a human, so they can do a bit of telekinesis, teleportation, mind control, but only like a hint of it before they have to refill. Whereas in like modern, one of the things that annoys me in modern movies is that Superman and Wonder Woman, they just carry on forever, don't they? Their powers are, never ending. They never, they get beat up and beat up and beat up, and then they manage to get a second wind and things like that. So they might have got magical powers. They run out once they use it and have to redo it. So they can use it to escape a tricky situation, but then they're buggered after that.
Very well said, Mr. Morton. How about said great characters?
Yeah, the character, I didn't really sort of do it intentionally, but there's a lot of strong women in it. The women are more powerful than the men in my vampire world. They got more chance of spells like that. And I just tried to make the main character Marcus just sort of, he's fed up with it all. It's a bit like Dracula and the Satanic Verses, Hammer Horror 1972 or something like that. He's had enough of it, and he makes a reference to the drug cartels, as in, if there's enough drugs for everybody, they don't have to keep killing everybody, and that's his view on the world. There's enough to go around for everybody, but human nature. So there's a bit of a human nature and human, emotions sort of byline to it as well.
Well, interesting. Stellar. What is the difference of brilliant, amazing, great characters and stellar? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thankful for any review I get. Really, I mean, it's been out a couple of years now, and although I've shifted 700, I've only got sent at 25 reviews.
Yes.
Which is sort of disappointing, But it's like I said, it's just a rip roaring, adult themed fantasy. There's a bit of violence in there. There's a bit of magic in there, and there's a bit of history, and so. Some people, take different things from it. Some people like the history part, and some people like the modern part. And some people like the vampire part. So, I give it the best shot. Like I said, it was the book I wanted to write at the start, but I wrote a couple of others first just to sort of get in my swing. And I think I've learned a lot as I've gone along.
Yes, and this is my favorite adjective of your book, according to your readers. Well written, fast-paced thriller with a great message. Wow.
Yeah.
What will be the great message of the book?
So the message is, there's enough in the world for everybody, and we should distribute it around, really. And there's a little bit in there about modern social media and how it's divisive. How they're trying to categorise us between white and black and Hispanic and gay and straight and non-binary, and and really, generally, in my experience, people just get on normally, and it's just there's divisive politics going on. So there's a little touches on that a bit as well. That's the sort of baddies tactic on divide and conquer. But yeah.
So what do you think? How do you write History is a Lie? Why they said it's well written?
I don't know. I just put the words down, and then the editor does a lot, really, because I think that novel was about 70,000. It was probably 60,000 before the editor got involved and filled in the missing gaps. I sort of write a bit too fast for my hand. So the well-written bit credit has to go to the editor, to be quite honest. Like I said, I'm not formally educated in writing. I didn't go to college or anything like that. So it's just I just bang the words down as they pop in my head. So, yeah.
So how many days or month you wrote the book?
I probably wrote that in about 4 months, but then again, I didn't have a job, so I'm not doing. I wasn't doing it, in spare time. I was doing it full time, really, while sitting on a beach in the other half of the world.
Interesting. So just focus on writing.
I actually wrote. I was in Borneo. Lived in Borneo for 6 months, and that's where I wrote it.
So let's discuss one of the negative reviews of your book. It says that there were a number of editing issues.
Yeah, it's really disappointing because I think that was in the paperback version, and when I got it back, I think it's the Rasputin chapter, and it was just all over the place. It was like the third paragraph was like second, and the second paragraph was fifth, and so I had to go back in and re-edit it, and that. So yeah, unfortunately, there was a few paperback copies sold where it was a mess. But it was all right on the Kindle, but it was it was on the paperback. I don't know what happened there, but I did get it fixed for free by the person that transferred it across to paperback.
What you're talking about is just glitz when you're doing the
Yeah, like it was. There was two chapters affected. I don't know why, but they were messy. To be fair, and they did private message me to say like, look at this. You need to look at this, and actually did some photoshops of it to help me, which was good of them.
Some of the details are a little gory for my taste.
Yeah, yeah. It starts off with a riot between a mega political church based on those Advent people over in America, and they're having a riot against Antifa. And a 4-year-old, unfortunately, gets a petrol bomb land on his lap, and it burns his genitals off. That's the opening. That's my opening chapter. So yeah, and then someone gets their head caved in with a tin of beans and stuff like that. Like I said, they're adult themed, my books, and I don't hold back, But yeah, so that like starts the chain of events, which the poor kid grows up obviously having had major surgery, and it makes him hate a certain group of people, and he starts killing them, and that's when he bumps into our main character.
So History is a Lie is all about history itself. It's derived from the history.
Like I said, every other chapter delves somewhere into history that we sort of know and love, and I've put my own spin on it. So, for example, Agincourt, don't know if you know, but 7,000 Englishmen beat rumours of 36,000 Frenchmen, and so I've got my vampire friends helping the English and magicking up assistance without giving the plot away.
What is your preparation in writing History is a Lie?
Well, like I said, I've always liked history, and I've always had a good imagination. So, believe it or not, I just had a pen and paper, and I had to double check a couple of dates, like Rasputin, Mary Celeste, and things like that. But that's all. I just had an idea of these things in history that were weird, and I thought, how can I build them into the story, or even who knows, I might be telling the truth. So yeah, I think that one of the reviews says like you can appreciate the amount of research went into it, but I've got to be truthful. It was a lot of it was top of my head, and I just checked some dates.
Yes, that's be awesome. One of the comments again, it says that history should not be rewritten, but celebrated for what it is. I think that'd be awesome as a writer of History is a Lie. So why do you think your readers thought that your book is more than celebrated?
I've got no idea. I'm not familiar with that review, so I'll have to after this. I'll go and dig them out. But like I said, I think I'm a big fan of indie authors and that, and I think they've got a lot to offer. And I'm a bit tired of the mainstream just rehashing, redoing, reimagining. If you want a story, if you want to do Snow White but totally mix it up, don't call it Snow White. Just write it yourself.
So, in general, how would you describe History is a Lie as a book?
It's an adult-themed historical romp adventure, really.
If you are given a chance to make History is a Lie to have a movie contract, do you think it's the same title, or you will modify it?
I'm happy with the title because, like I said, it's History is a Lie or His Story is a Lie. I like a pun, and I think one review did say they'd love to see it as a Netflix series. It's a bit like fans of Angel and Buffy and that, when Angel was going back in time and showing his adventures. There's a touch of that in it as well. So yeah, I think it'd make a great film, to be quite honest, and I'd definitely go and see it.
Yes, true. So we're calling what? Apple, Amazon, or Netflix?
Yeah, anybody.
Let's make
I'd be cheap as well.
Oh yes, definitely. So
100 grand would do me.
yes, definitely. Hulu or what else? Paramount Plus, please. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Anybody's out there.
Let make histories alive. Go to action, or we want to a bigger audiences.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you want to modify histories alive
yeah.
and put a present history that happening in the 21st century, which part of the book?
Yeah, well, like I said, it finishes at COVID in the last chapter, and I've already got a sequel in mind, but I'm going to have to wait 10 years to see what happens. I mean, in it, I predicted China and Taiwan, not getting on. So who knows? They might invade in a couple of years. By the end of this year, who knows? And things like that. So yeah, the sequel. I've got the history things I want to sort of discover and write into it. But I need to see what happens in the modern world so that I can relate it to it and work backwards. So yeah, like I said, it goes all the way up to COVID. I finished writing it in COVID 2020.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
It's really a phenomenal event that
yeah, yeah,
all over the world crippled
yeah,
the economy, crippled everything.
yeah. Obviously, it's got a huge English influence because I'm English and that's what I know about. So, but it's a fun read and educational.
Yes, true. So do you think history is alive? There will be a sequel.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be called The Present That Nobody Asked For.
Oh, okay. So
Another pun.
so this is already written or is to be written?
No, 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 no. It's all in my head. It's all in
Oh,
my
that's
head.
awesome. So can you do the prelude or what will be the connection for the sequel?
Well,
Spoiler.
for those that have read it, it ends with a baby getting stolen by the CIA. So yeah, I did leave it open. There's a little twist right at the end. I don't know if anybody spotted it or not, but the main character did disappear with a vial of blood, which he might need. So they were left on the top of a burning building, practically dead. But I've left it open. But yeah, it's their baby got stolen by an evil CIA woman. So it could be that one.
So where did you get your ideas in writing History is a Lie?
Well, like I said, I read a book about the British Empire and all the countries ever invaded, and it was just like bizarre, how such a small country, was so influential. And being the youngest of three children, and I watched way too much telly that I probably shouldn't have done as a young boy, all the Hammer horrors and things like that, because I had an older brother and a liberal mother. So so it's just my love of history and my love of horror and folklore all put together, thrown in to make hopefully an enjoyable story for people to read.
Which part of the book make you have this difficulty writing it?
I think I always know the start. I always know the end. You've got to have the middle bit of any book. I find the hardest because you're trying to make your head somewhere without going too fast, but dropping hints along the way. I write my other books are mystery murders mainly, and you got to keep the reader entertained. And not be too predictable, but then not be too silly with the twist either. It's got to be believable.
Yes. So what is the best highlight of the book?
I like the Mary Celeste chapter, and there's a chapter where there's a home invasion, and he's tied the mother up, the baddie has, and her son comes in to rescue her, and she does what she does in the movies. She sort of goes like, "Run, run," and he does. Rather than rather than going in the room and getting stabbed to death, he runs, and then she's like, "I can't believe it, he ran away." Because things in movies like that annoy me. It's like, "Oh, quick, someone's like they stabbed the baddie, and then he's just killed their sister or girlfriend." They knock him out and they don't finish him off. And you think, what are you doing? Finish him off. Then you've got plenty of time to untie the person that's tied up or whatever. So yeah, a lot of my frustrations of movies, I do not try to copy in my books. Like I have different spins on them, on what people would really do. So, yeah, they're probably my two favourite chapters. And there's a one where they attack the complex and that down in the tunnels. I like that one as well. That's good.
So do you think the main character of the book you give
I grew to like him as I went along. I mean, he was just a vessel for telling the story at the start, but I tried to make him sort of likable and compassionate. So I think he's a vampire and he hasn't killed anybody since 1800. So, but he can just drain people. So he doesn't have to kill them.
Yes. So give us the five adjectives of the main character that most of the reader like it.
Like I said, he's got his feet on the ground. He's realised that the vampires and the humans can live together. If they're tolerant of each other, and that sort of spreads on to his view of the rest of the world. Whether it's the Russians, the Chinese, the Ukrainians, or whoever. There's we can all get on, and there's enough for everybody if we if we all work together. That's that's where I've tried to go with him and that. So, yeah.
For my listeners, Book 101 Review, I'm inviting you to listen to my other podcast, Food 101. So it's all about food, people, and it's on my third season. And I have my new co-host, Chef Alessandro, one of the executive chef of one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. And my Food 101 is on the top 12 best food podcasts on the planet. So, Mr. Martin, what else you can say about history is a lie?
Well, I think I've said everything I can really without giving the plot away. So it's I just appreciate if anybody could check it out. It's I think it's a great book, and I think people would love it.
Yes, people, if you will read the reviews, you have this. Oh wow, you can say wow.
Yeah, there's some good reviews. I appreciate every single one of them.
Yes, you have this motivation to. I want to read this book. So, where do people buy your book, Mister Martin?
It's on Amazon Kindle, where you can read it by page, or you can download it, or you can get it on paperback as well. So all on Amazon, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all on Amazon. What is your advice for the beginners who want to write a novel or write a stories? What the motivation you want to inspire them?
I think look, there's I think there's a million independent authors out there, but it's so easy to get them up and running now. Yourself through Amazon. It is and other sites. It is dead easy, and I think you need to sort of get involved with the writing community. I think I when I put my first book out there, I thought, well, I'll put it out there. Surely someone will pick it up. It's only £2, but it doesn't work like that. So I think you need to show your support to other people, and sort of let people know what you're reading via Goodreads.
Very well said, Mr. Martin. How would you structure your writing?
I write each chapter chronologically, to be honest. I do a chapter at a time in the way that it's written in the book. I don't jump about at all. And I just have a notepad at work or next to me and watching the telly, and I just scribble notes down when I think, oh yeah, that's a good idea, whatever. So, I don't know. Everyone's different, aren't they? You got pantsers and plotters, and I'm a pantster. One of my books, The Lie, the Bitch, and the Warmonger, I wrote totally just from the title alone. I came up with the title, as a sort of Mickey take of people at work, and I wrote an entire book about it. So, and then another one, More Than You Can Chew, was true events, which happened to a friend of mine on Christmas Day, where they were attacked by some dogs, killing one of their dogs, and she needed plastic surgery. So yeah, I think, but I just write them down chapter by chapter. I very rarely jump a chapter and then go back.
Because people out there, for the aspiring writers, is it your idea come naturally or it depends your mood?
Like I said, I watch a lot of telly, or have done over the years, and I think it's declined and that. And I sort of sit there and I watch them, and I think, well, that's not true. Why would that happen? You know, and so I use my frustration at things I'm watching to try and better my own craft. For example, you know, you watch something and someone's having an affair, and they
Yes.
don't lock the door. You know, they don't close the curtains. I mean, come on. If you're you know, you're watching a soap opera and they're having sex with their brother, you know, their brother's brother-in-law, and they
Yes.
don't take any precautions, and it's just like it's just silly, you know. So you don't find any of that in my books. If people are having extramarital affairs, then they're a bit more cautious, and you know, and people, you know, having fights and things like that. You know, like I've seen a few and been on a few in my time, you know, and they've got to be realistic. You know, a 6'4" bloke is a big bloke. You know, you would know if someone that big hit you. You know, if someone hit you and it shoves you across the room, there's a bit of power in that to shove you across the room. So you're not getting back up. You've probably got a broken jaw or something. You know, so yeah, so I use the frustrations of watching telly and that to inspire my own stories.
So, what is your best atmosphere when you're writing?
I don't have any music on. I don't have any distractions. Just me and my laptop.
So you can write in a busy uh, aisle or a busy environment.
I'm probably, to be quiet, I'm probably writing in my head all the time. You know, when I'm at work or driving, I'm sort of sitting there thinking, and I'm thinking, right, how's he going to find that? You know, well, how is he going to get to that place? So it's just constant, really, and yeah, just constant.
So in writing, history is a lie. Is it exhaust you or energize you
Energize me.
every time?
Yeah, yeah. Every time, if I get a little bit sort of bored and that, I just go on and read a review and that, and it energizes me. You know, there's someone halfway around the world I've never met says they've enjoyed it. It's such a great feeling.
So where your top five motivation in doing history is a lie?
I just wanted to tell a story, you know, and really, you know, it'd be great if it was more successful or things like that, you know. But it's not about the money. It kept me occupied, kept my brain occupied, it entertains me myself, and it's, you know, everyone's got a story to tell. So yeah, I just enjoy it. It's just really satisfying when you come up with a plot point or a you know a twist or something, and you think, oh, that's really good. I like that.
Do you think history is a lie is your big legacy?
It's not my most popular book. My most popular book is The Liar, the Bishop, and the Warmonger, followed by Demons Are Forever. They're my most popular. But personally, I think History is a Lie is my best work.
So why is that? Why is history is a lie is your favorite?
It's a book I always wanted to write. Like I said, it covers three things that I love. You know, mythology, history, and horror. Really, you know, I love all three of those genres. Watching them and reading them. And it's just really satisfying to write it and come up with the plot twists and the historical references and build it all together.
Just like four in one book.
Yeah, it's got a bit of everything. Like I said, but it is for adults. You know, like I said, it starts off with a horrific firebomb incident, and the pace doesn't ease up after that.
Yes, fast pace. As they said, fast paced thriller.
Yeah.
So once again, invite our readers or listeners to buy your book.
It's on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited as well, so you can read as many pages as you want. And on Amazon and on paperback for those that like to have it in their hand to read. You know, there's a few people like that. So yeah, any support, we welcome it, and if you do, please leave a review because that's what it's all about. So
Yes, please, people, let's support Mr. Morton Leader. And if you will read the reviews, you will be have the inspiration to read. History is a lie.
I
One,
like your movie voice.
yes, I think it's one of a kind. It's brilliant, amazing, great characters, well written, stellar. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Those are the motivation that you need to read this book. So much for your time.
No, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I enjoy it. Morticon people, see you soon.